Good morning. Students, teachers, guests, and especially our veterans, welcome to Coopersville High School Wall of Honor dedication. My name is Brent Haddon, and I am proud to be the principal at CHS. Out of respect for our ceremony today, please silence all cell phones. To open our dedication, I welcome former CHS choir director, Mr. David Inbody, with a musical tribute.
Thank you. To honor our country and our veterans, those that are active in service, let's stand together, face the American flag in the back, and I'll sing the national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Mr. Inbody. Today we welcome all veterans and dignitaries, including Polktown Township Supervisor Mr. Bill Sahlberg, State Representative Mr. Roger Victory, Chester Township Supervisor Mr. Gary Mearman, and Coopersville Mayor Mr. Rodney Lloyd. At this time, we ask you to rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Miss Shelby Meinsema, Miss Coopersville, whose platform is Freedom Isn't Free, Veterans Awareness for Youth. Our colors are presented by the Coopersville Honor Guard.
Place your right hand over your heart and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Shelby. Now with some short remarks, Mr. Ron Veldman, Superintendent of Coopersville Area Public Schools.
First of all, I'd like to thank everyone for being in attendance today. This Wall of Honor started as an idea over 2 years ago, and from then has moved to the hard work and efforts of many people to help make it a reality. And I'd like to thank those who served on the committee to help make this Wall of Honor possible. Caitlin Yascardo, Amanda Reynolds, Jean Artega, Dr. Brian Gam, Catherine Meinsma, Mike Fritz, Kelly Vanderhook, Dory Krieger, Brent Haddon, David McKellar, Don Veneman, Mike Ripka, Stephanie Stanton, Tyler Young, Emily Liefers, Chad Borgman, and Shelby Meinsma. I'd especially like to thank two individuals who've been involved from the beginning of this project. Warren Warber, whose idea and efforts started this project moving forward. Warren, thank you. And the person who took care of the thousands of details to help make it a reality over the last 2 years, Kathy Gomez. I'd also like to thank the generous sponsors who've helped support this work financially. These include the Coopersville Education Association, the Coopersville Rotary, the Coopersville PTA, the Coopersville Sportsman's Club, Denise DeWise Gilbert, CAPS board member, David McKellar, past commander of the Grand Haven American Legion, Pat Rapp from Rapp Signs, Mary Nash, CAPS secretary, Randy Lau, CAPS maintenance supervisor, Dory Krieger, high school teacher, Kelly Vanderhook, high school teacher, and Catherine Meinsma, Blue Star Mothers. Coopersville High School has had graduating classes since 1892, when two girls by the first name of Hattie were part of the first graduating class of 2 students. Since then, we've had thousands of students who have attended CHS. One of the most rewarding parts of my life is seeing students who I taught and worked with in school go on to a variety of career options and pursue their goals and achieve their success. Today, we recognize those Coopersville students who became part of something much bigger, those who left CHS to serve our country and to protect our freedoms. Although that may resonate to many as sounds of symbolic patriotism, there were also the harsh realities of those who served. Lieutenant Max Reynolds, CHS class of 1936, was a senior class president. He was a center and captain of the Coopersville Bronco football team. During his military career, he was honored with the Expert Infantryman's Badge, which was one of the most difficult recognitions for a soldier to earn. As part of the Army's 86th Black Hawk Division, Max was killed on January 15, 1945, during a fierce combat in Belgium during World War II. As we've been reminded in the last few weeks, certainly freedom is not free. Each one of these individuals has a story to tell. In World War II and the Vietnam War, many individuals were drafted. Some were not able to finish high school and earn their diploma, but were required to report for duty to serve their country. In the late 60s and early 70s, some of the individuals who answered the call of duty were involved in a war which was unpopular. Those who served and did return home often weren't recognized as heroes, as despite their years of service and bravery. Every person has a story. I'd like to say a few words to our current students, our current high school students and students here today, now in the future. Our hope is that as each of you walk by and see this wall each day, you understand and respect the sacrifices of those who have gone before us to provide the freedoms we enjoy. Although you may not realize it today, there are hundreds and hundreds of opportunities for each of us based on the freedoms we have in this country. In our country, included in these freedoms, is the opportunity for all students to receive an education. And I know for many of you that might not seem like much, and most people take that for granted. However, many places in the world, there are not options to receive an education. Or if there are an option, it's only available to the wealthiest kids. In many other developed countries, many youth your age have already had their future determined by an ability test that is taken at the age of 12 years old or at 14 years old to decide then what type of school you're going to be allowed to go to and what your future occupation choices will be. But here in our country, this is our country. Through hard work and perseverance, individuals have the opportunity to pursue their future based on their passion, based on their hard work, and based on their personal goals. People who have been raised in difficult situations or raised in poverty are able to overcome those odds and write their own destiny. Public education has been called the great equalizer, where students, despite their circumstances, can reach amazing heights. I have seen this story play out many times by those who've gone before you. Young men and women in our country who take full advantage of all opportunities that are available. So what's your story, students? What's your story? What's your story going to be? I challenge you today. My hope is by respecting and appreciate your freedoms that were secured by many, which we'll honor today, that some of you may also perhaps to choose to go to serve your country. And for others, my hope is that you will take full advantage of the opportunities and freedoms which have been fought for and secured by others through their sacrifice. May we never forget, and may we always remember the efforts of all those who served. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Beldman. At this time, we ask Mr. Russell Lilly and CHS Senior Chad Borgman to come forward. Mr. Lilly graduated from Coopersville High School in 1968. He entered the United States Marine Corps 1 week after graduation on June 13, 1968. He attended the Marine Corps Recruit Depot boot camp training for 10 weeks, then on to Camp Pendleton in California for infantry training. He was then shipped overseas to Okinawa, Japan for staging. On March 8, 1969 in Da Nang, Vietnam, while assigned to the 1st Marine Division, 7th Marine Regiment, 3rd Battalion K Company, Mr. Lilly took a gunshot to his right hip. He spent 1 week in a hospital on the airstrip in Da Nang. He was then shipped to Great Lakes Hospital for 5 months until September 30th. He was also in and out of the VA hospital in Ann Arbor for many years, which included a body cast for 3.5 years. Mr. Lilly, on behalf of Coopersville High School staff and students, I thank you for your service and sacrifice to our country. Mr. Lilly and Chad will now unveil our Wall of Honor. Coopersville Mayor Mr. Rodney Lloyd will now make a special presentation.
Thank you all for being here today. What an honor to be able to stand in front of you to honor our veterans and to honor Russ for this this occasion. When I was first asked this, I was very overwhelmed, and this is, like I said, a complete honor. One of the things that I'm going to ask is if Russ, if you could please come up and join me here. On behalf of the Governor, Rick Snyder of Michigan, I have a award to present to Russ here, and it's from the Governor's office, and it's my honor to read this to you all. Dear Russell Lilly, as a Governor of Michigan, it is my distinct privilege to express our state's deep appreciation for your exemplary service in the Marine Corps. Through your service, you have protected our democracy, protected the freedoms and enjoyed today, and will continue to enjoy in the future, as long as there are brave men and women like yourself who are willing to commit themselves to the defense of America. You have faithfully and capably performed the tasks of our nation and asked of your while adhering to the highest standards of excellence. Without a doubt, our nation owes a debt of gratitude that can never be repaid. Sincerely, Rick Snyder, Governor of Michigan.
Thank you, Mr. Lloyd. At this time, Eagle Scout Tyler Young will place a flag on the Wall of Honor which hung over the Capitol building in Washington, D.C. Thank you very much. At this time, we'd like Mr. Inbody to come up again and sing one more song for us before we close. Thank you.
Feel free to join in with me. God bless America. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Thank you all very much for coming today. Big thanks to our committee, especially Mr. Warber and Ms. Gomez for all their work. It was believe me, a lot of work and great effort on their part. Thank you very much. All adults are invited to the Teachers Lounge. We have refreshments for you, so any adult students, sorry, you have to go back to class. But in closing, I think we should thank once again our veterans for all the service and everything you've done for us and allowed the freedoms that we have today. Thank you very much.